What's up, YouTube? So, big shout out to Tom Yu for taking us out. So, Tom, Paul Moon, Jeff Kim, and I, we went out to in the Chesapeake Bay, um, an area right above Rock Hall, and targeting rockfish mainly. Um, but we went out, and all the rockfish are probably around in the 18 to 30 inch range, and there were a lot of boats out there actually that day. We went on a weekend, and in the beginning, we I was throwing out top water, uh, SP minnows, and Jeff was throwing out a lot of uh, like swim shad plastics. So we were trying to see if they were going to hit artificial or not. We did bring fresh bait that day. We brought some peeler crabs, crab aprons, and fresh LY. So no luck on the lures, so we immediately, well, not immediately, we probably threw a lot of top water out for the first couple of hours. We launched around 2:30, got here about 4, well, I'm sorry, got there around 3:30. Started throwing top water till about 4:30, give or take, and then we started chumming. Threw a chum bag out, and one of the biggest things while we were fishing was the fact that all these fish, they were sitting on the bottom. It was 94, 95 degrees that day. Water temps about 80, 82. There was a lot of chop in the beginning, in the AM. That slowly died down, as you can tell. And fish weren't really coming up to feed at all. So you had to get the bait to the bottom. But the biggest part was that if you let it sit on bottom, they actually will not touch it. And big key here is being able to put the bait in the strike zone. We're in about 20 feet of water. I think it was 18 to 20 feet. There is a slight channel, I believe, to the left of us. But once you start chumming, the fish end up sitting right below your boat and I guess eating just the little pieces of LY. And actually, this is really good footage here where I caught one and Tom got a really big one. I think that was a close or over a 30 incher, I believe. And yeah, we no time to unhook mine, so I just brought the fish right over and we just dual netted it. And we limited out quickly today, probably within 3 hours. Got two per person. But going back to it, the strike zone is really crucial. Initially, I had my setup so that the sinkers would. I used a heavy sinker and got it all the way to bottom with probably a 2 foot leader, and they were not touching it at all. And actually, to clarify, in the morning, um, they were not hitting. They weren't committing to the bait. They would tap it, but you would have to actually wait until they take it and run. That was the hardest thing. But by the PM, they were basically swallowing the hook. Think we had two or three fish that swallowed the hook, which we ended up keeping anyhow, as a part of our limit. And yeah, as you can tell right there, I just switched over to a 1 ounce. And what you would do is you bring it all the way to bottom, then you reel it up, crank it about a couple times to bring it up 2 foot above the water, 2, 3 foot, and yeah, you just wait for them to hit it. And once they hit it, you just set the hook, and there they are right there. Um, and as for my gear, I'm using a Lose Mach 2, which is great for this bay. Very light tackle. And actually, so this film right here, where I'm using a bucktail, I was kind of testing out to see why they weren't hitting the bucktail. So I put a piece of bunker on with a little teaser and a bucktail, and what do you know? They start hitting it. And it was great to be able to release really quickly with that setup. So if you don't like to have the hook be too deep, or if you just feel like the fish are committing too much and need continuous tension on the line, I would really highly recommend using a bucktail because it has a really big hook and you're able to do a quick release right back into the water. We had tons of fish that had sores. Uh, it's like a fish handler's disease, which I highly do not recommend you touching it with a open cut. The sore can actually, or the bacteria from the sore can actually transfer over and cause a flesh-eating bacteria, which requires surgical removal if you do happen to catch it. Um, but there was a lot of fish that were belly up in the bay. Temperature probably too hot, too warm. Oxygen level on the top is depleted most likely. So make sure that you don't touch the scales too much and you get them right back into the water if you're not going to keep them or if they don't look any good. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. These fish were fighting hard. I think 2 weeks ago I have video of us at Breezy Point, and we got basically almost all 29, 30 incher there, and they weren't fighting like this. These rockfish were actively feeding, and they weren't touching bucktail with no teaser or anything on it. So if you just put a little bit of the LY blood and just drop it down, they were loving that too. So there's multiple ways to kind of set up for convenience. I think that's all. I don't think there's anything else I'd really like to mention in this video, but if you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I'll answer it to the best of my knowledge. But thanks for watching.
I wonder if this SP metal will sink all the way to the ground.
We need to keep that bait in the water.
I hooked it in the eye.
Damn.
That's why,
Come on. Get the line back.
I thought that had sores on it.
Yeah,
Oh, that shit is up. Man, that's big.
bring it over.
That's good too. That's
We limited. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We have 9.